Hello and welcome. This is Marissa, MKissa Creations, and it's been another week, so it's time for another Flosstube video. Welcome if you are new, and welcome back if you are returning. I appreciate having you here. It is time for another Flosstube video. It has been an eventful week. Two exciting things have happened in the cross stitch world for me. I went to Stitch Maine, which is a stitching retreat hosted by the Daily Stitcher. She is a local online needlework shop here in Maine. And then also, if you follow me on Instagram, you saw, but I have been added as one of the Flosstube live participants in Lindy Stitch's Midsummer Stitch. I am going to be doing a live with Megan, the Wide-Eyed Stitching Child, or Megan, the Wide-Eyed Stitcher. She goes by both. She and I have been Flosstube friends for quite a while, and she invited me to join her for this duo paired Flosstube lives that are happening for Midsummer Stitch. I believe that tickets go on sale the 12th, which will be before my next Flosstube video. It's in 2 days. So if you would like to come hang out with Megan or I, or any of the other Flosstubers that have been showcased so far, buy that ticket. Those are included in your ticket price. You get to join those as long as you are available to watch as your time permits, and you get to ask questions. It is interactive. It is not just us on a video like we are in our typical Flosstube realm. So I think that's a really amazing opportunity. She has announced a couple of the other Flosstubers that are participating, but if you go check out Lindy Stitch's Instagram, she has listed, she's putting them out every couple of days. She's adding new Flosstubers that are doing Flosstube lives. I think the lineup is pretty great this year. So not just because I'm there, obviously I appreciate being there, but the other people that are there are also people that I really enjoy watching on Flosstube. So they are probably people that you know from Flosstube too. So it is a really great opportunity to be able to join in on the Flosstube merriment, especially if you're usually like just a watcher. You get to interact, and I think that is a really amazing opportunity. Because sometimes, even when I'm watching Flosstube, I want to talk, I want to converse, I want to talk back with you, I want to ask you questions and get answers, and while we can do that in the comments, we don't have the opportunity to do it live. And so Lindy Stitches is giving that to us, which is really exciting. All right, so I've got a little bit of retreat stuff. We'll kind of save that for a little bit later. I'm going to show you the 3 WIPs that I worked on this week. One of them is a new start, which is really exciting, and I started that at Stitch Maine with one of my friends there. And yeah, let's get to it. So the first thing that I worked on was the Lola Crow Midnight at the Museum, and I added, what did I add? I added 757 stitches. I did not finish the frame fully, so I am a little bit behind. I did add the new release that was added to my pattern keeper, so I don't know what we're doing for as far as completion goes. I think I'm around like the 55-56% mark. But those 757 stitches had me finishing out the whale skeleton. So I got that done, and I got some more of this top, this top part done. I still have this whole side to finish all the way down. This side is finished all the way down, so I'm not super far behind. I will hopefully catch up a little bit, play a little bit more catch up this week. I don't know if I'll be all the way caught up, but there's another release coming, so that might put a little wrench into my plans as far as being all the way done is. But look at, oh, that skeleton is so cool. I've had a couple questions about my fabric. This is not the called for. It is 40 count Feldspar from Picture This Plus. And as I conversed with my table at Stitch Maine this weekend, or on Sunday, I have shared my love of this fabric, and I think it's catching the eye of a couple other people who are seeing it. I don't know how long it's been around for. I'm sure it's been out there for a while, but I absolutely just love this. It's a gray with some hints of tan or brown in it, and it is just beautiful, and I think it's absolutely perfect for this piece. I'm really loving how it looks. My needle minder is from Stephanie, the New England Stitcher. She recently had an online shop open up. I think she has her needle minders on there, but it says that's a horrible idea. What time? So check out her online shop. I will link her below with the other shops that I have down there. The two other shops that I have down there are shops that carry MKissa Creations patterns in print. You can also find my designed patterns on my Etsy shop. Not all of them are there yet. Blueberry Stitches, which has been probably my most popular one lately, I designed for the Library Stitchers Retreat, and that one is just going to be in shops for a little bit more of the summer, and then I will put it as available as a PDF to buy on my website. But for right now, they're available at the two shops below, the Threaded Needle in Massachusetts and the Crafty Grimalkin in Bangor. All right. Then I started working on my full coverage for the week. My full coverage that I chose for this week was Cauldron of Mer. The artwork is by Ivy Dolamore. I'll put a picture of this right here. The artwork is by Ivy Dolamore, and it is charted by Unconventional X Stitch. Unfortunately, it is no longer available. It is a retired chart. I added 1,241 stitches to it, so I'll show you a picture of where it was when I started, and I will show you what 1,241 stitches looks like. So here is where we are at with those stitches added. This Monstera leaf really coming into view. I got a lot filled in over here. So I am loving this. So this one is a lot of blockier stitching. Not as much confetti, but it's not one green. It's a lot of different greens in there. A lot of grays, a lot of like deep purples, muted purples kind of. So some $37.99 in there. But yeah, I love how it is coming along. And me thinks this stays out another week. I am getting close to not just being in leaves, and I would like to start seeing some more of that come through. So I think I'm gonna continue on with my fill-in process. A little bit more about how I stitch full coverage. It has been coming up a lot lately. I saw on Jasmine from Jasmine's Custom Bags actually put out an ask on Instagram of like how you keep your backs from getting too cluttered when you're doing full coverage stitching, and I had a little chat with her about how I stitch, and then there is another floss tuber. I mentioned her 2 weeks ago. The name is escaping me right now. Her name is Jackie. I can't think of what her floss tube name is. I don't know. I can't right now. My brain just can't. But she stitches in a similar way, and that is just, you know, kind of picking a thread from an area and going with it. She's kind of starting like with a home base of like a 3-block area and like stitching out from that. I really kind of just choose along the edge of my design what thread is next and that I can get some stitches out of and that I feel comfortable counting to. So like I will highlight, I should film this sometime. I will highlight in Pattern Keeper like whatever color is kind of on the edge, right? And kind of look and see where that's going to get me or where I need to count to. And if it ends up with like a lot of stitches like out here in this white, that I don't have good counting off bases to jump to, I will kind of choose the next color and see if it can give me a little bit more of a base. Even if it's not the most immediate color to the inside of my stitching, you know, the next color out might give me some more landing points for the furthest color in. Weird to explain. I think it definitely needs visual aids. So I think we're looking at a Flosstube Extra at some point on showing how I actually do that and showing you my pattern keeper. Obviously it's going to be like a very zoomed in portion. You're not going to be able to stitch the pattern from that, but kind of showing you what my process is, talking out loud through it and getting that done, because I absolutely love this. I can see things coming to life. I can see where things are going to get filled in. I can see if I'm going to be able to get a big chunk of stitching done, or maybe I should just pull 2 colors out while I'm kind of in my master set floss box at the moment, because I'm going to immediately move to the next color. And you know, I feel like it helps move things along quicker. It allows me to really see things, but I'm just really excited about how this is coming along. I do have so there's some partial pages down here along the bottom. They're more than 3/4 of what a normal page is, so I'm counting them as page finishes in my like tracking. I'm coming up on another one real soon here, so I think I definitely am keeping this out to get that next page finish in, and maybe even another one before I put it away. This project is overall at 8.8%, and I would love to get it to the 10% mark. I just hit 20% on my mini Which Way, so that was like a big milestone. I think getting this one to the 10% mark would be great. Tiki Beach Sunset, I think, is getting close-ish to the 20% mark, which that's amazing. And then I forget where What Lies Beneath is at percentage-wise, but we're getting kind of up there and we're getting to some milestone percentages. So I really have a lot of motivation in putting stitches into these projects. All right, and then the third project that I worked on this week was All Things Wise and Wonderful. Is it All Things? It's another All Things. Let's see. Yep, All Things Wise and Wonderful. It's this pattern. I think this is actually going to be a better picture than what I would insert, so I'm just going to hold this here for a second. I started over here. I started with the harp because I only had to stitch like 4 stitches diagonally from the middle, what would be considered the actual middle, to get to it. And then I started working my way up into the words. When I stitched Consider the Lilies, I stitched the words all the way across first, and then I stitched the tree. I think this time I'm gonna stitch the words all the way across, and then I'm gonna stitch this flower. There is a lot of full coverage going on in this pattern, more so than the other ones. The other ones, it was really just the house. And when I say the other ones, I'm meaning Consider the Lilies and His Eyes on the Sparrow. His Eyes on Sparrow and Consider the Lilies, the big massive thing was really like the house kind of in the, I believe, bottom portion on both of them. But or it might have been on the top on Sparrow. But in this one, there's 2 houses, and then there's, you know, this big flower, and then there's 2 of these, which I don't know if you're gonna get focus or not, but those are all massive and a lot of full coverage, or all full coverage. So I really want to at least get kind of one of those knocked out of my to-do list of All Things Wise and Wonderful. But I also want to show you my start. I started this with my friend Bill at Stitch Maine, and he is working on it also. I think he is stitching on 32 count 1/2. I am stitching on, this comes out to about 39 count. I'm also stitching 1/2. This is the exact same fabric that I stitched Consider the Lilies on, and I just really like how the color saturation works with this fabric. It's a beautiful, like, mushroomy color, and here is where I got. So I got the start. I don't know if this, I don't know if that needle minder is all considered appropriate or not, so he'll be hidden now. So this is where I got. He is, or There's a cherub, and there's a dir, and there's a line, and there's a harp. The harp does have back stitching in it, but because it's a harp, it felt weird to do like smaller back stitching to make it. Like I think I'm actually just gonna do long straight stitches, but I also don't want to do that when I know it's gonna get folded up into a Q-snap at some point and I don't want to warp them. So the strings of the harp will most likely be saved till I get closer to the end. But this is All Things Wise and Wonderful. Okay. Oh, actually, and then let me show you. I'm missing, I think, a couple of colors. Had one that still needed to be ordered, and there were a couple that I got to pull from Consider the Lilies, which was fun. But here is this gorgeous color palette. I feel like you can't even get them all spread out in it, but oh, it's really beautiful. I'm really excited to stitch this piece. I did not think I was going to be starting it this soon after finishing Consider the Lilies, which was my March finish for this year. But March? I think it was my March finish this year. But I love this pattern. I'm so excited to get to the animals. So it's happening. It's started and we're moving forward. I don't know how quickly I will move through it. I don't have any plans for how quickly I will move through it. I'm sure it will get stitched on and then put away a little bit and then stitched on and put away a little bit, but it's here and it's started and it is happening. All right, a little bit about the retreat, not a lot, and then I have a giveaway for you too. I am going to insert footage here of Penny's shop. And the reason that I'm inserting the footage here of Penny's shop is because she has so many beautiful models. I think most of them are either stitched by herself or Helen D, and most of them are either professionally framed or finished by Helen D. They are all amazing, and I am putting them in here so you can let your creative brain just see all these lovely finishes, see all these boxes that she used, see what things look like when they're framed. Just absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to put that in here. And then for the retreat, instead of doing a goodie bag, Penny gave us all a $25 gift card to her shop, which I thought was fantastic. I do love a goodie bag. My pattern was featured in a goodie bag for Library Stitchers, and I absolutely love that. But being able to choose what my takeaway was absolutely awesome as well. I picked up a piece of cobblestone. I actually don't know who the dyer is. It's not on here. It's a 36 count linen, and I think I'm in like my gray era. And this is sort of has a similar feel to the Feldspar. It's that gray and brown. So you can see it has that brown in it also. It's actually quite similar. I am obviously having a moment with fabrics that kind of look like this, and that's okay. So now I have 36 count and 40 count in my wheelhouse that look like this, because I won't be using all of the Feldspar that I have for Museum After Midnight. I will be able to have a leftover piece of that. But I'm just totally into that kind of fabric right now. And then I won a door prize. And just like my door prize that I won at Library Stitchers, well, my door prize that I won at Library Stitchers, I already have as a WIP, so I already own that pattern, so that was an easy choice. But this one I don't have as a WIP, but it's not something that I'm planning on stitching. It's absolutely adorable, but it is Gathering Pumpkins from Annie B's Folk Art, and here's what it looks like. And so if you are interested in stitching this and winning my Pass the Stash, please use the word pumpkin in your comments. You can just write the word pumpkin. You don't have to use it in a sentence, but use the word pumpkin. Please be over 18 because you have to be able to legally give me your address, and please be in the US because I can't manage international shipping at this time. So yeah, go ahead and comment that. I've had a busy week. My residents are graduating. Because I work in a combined residency program, they have 5 different graduation events that they go to and attend. I attend 3 of those events. We got one out of the way. I got another one tomorrow, and then I have one next Tuesday. So I am definitely within my busy season. My new residents, I work in graduate medical education. My new residents arrive now. We have a first event with them on Friday night, and then it's just a whirlwind of orienting new people and graduating the 4th years in our program. So I am busy. I am still trying to get my stitching in. My family is definitely missing me these 2 weeks because of a second job and all of these events, but that is okay. It is temporary, and then we will have the rest of summer to all spend together. And I will have the rest of summer to stitch and to show things to you. I think that made this a little bit of a shorter video today, but it was really fun to come and chat with you again. Please remember to check out Lindy Stitches and all of the Flosstubers that are going to be featured this year in the Midsummer Stitch. Buy your tickets in the next couple of days. That's really exciting. And use the word pumpkin if you want to stitch that Gathering Pumpkins from Annie B's Folk Art. I would be happy to pass that stash on to you. Please remember, if you've entered other giveaways, to watch videos and double check if you won, because I am still waiting on an address for a giveaway. I would love to hear from you. Otherwise, we will draw another name. All right, that is it. I will talk to you next week. Bye.